And welcome to another edition of the Michigan Football Film Study, normally focused on the offense with Al Borges, the Michigan offense with Al Borges, but not this week,
Not this
not
week.
this time, not this time. This time, it's a film study focused on the Buckeyes,
Buckeyes.
the Buckeye defense. That's right. That's right. Jim knows. Jim knows. Oh, Jim knows. See, I got a great relationship with Jim knows.
You do?
I do. I talked about old Jimmy Knowles a whole lot a couple years ago. I didn't quite understand Jim Knowles' game plan. He decided he wanted to zero blitz the hell out of Michigan. I appreciated the hell out of that. I appreciated that game plan. It was a great game plan as far as I was concerned, Al, because it led to a euphoric experience for Michigan. That's right. I loved it. I loved it. He changed it up. He changed it up. He didn't come after Michigan quite as hard last year. Michigan still got a great result. We're going to dig into this film study, Al, whether he's changed his ways at all. Is he the same or has he differed? Is he adapted to what is a more talented defense, seemingly on paper, Al Borges?
I think that's true. Yeah.
We will see today.
Yeah, I think he has pulled it in a little bit. When he first started, when I started looking at them a couple years ago, he was still a little bit in his Big 12 mode, five across the board and, dealing with spread offenses and all that. But it's changed considerably since then. They're much more base defense oriented, although they still have bells and whistles. It's not totally vanilla because he's got some deals, but they're in 4-2 cover 4 as much as they're in anything. Okay. And I think some of it is because he's learned the league like everybody does, and he learned that this is in fact a running league for the most part. Or at least a balanced run to pass league in a lot of instances, and the better teams, the better running teams. So he's had to adjust to that, and I think he's done that. But still, that said, in the last game they zero blitzed one time and dropped a bunch of guys out of there. They didn't really blitz a 6-man pressure, but they did still play zero in the back end and got beat for a touchdown. So I don't think they're. I don't think I'm sure those zero blitzes are good, but it seems like they're not as good against the better opponents. And there is a place for a zero blitz. People say you never do it. I mean, no, there's a place for a zero blitz, but you got to be careful because if you can't get pressure on a zero blitz, you got issues. There's no question about that.
I mean, are they getting pressure with 4?
Not real, not like for example, Michigan does. They're not there. The one thing about them that's interesting, they got 2 good defensive ends with JT and Sawyer, who I think are good players. Their inside 2 are pretty good players, but they don't really have a prolific pass rusher. Where you say, "Oh my God, that guy's going to go right by our tackles." Now that may happen against Michigan, I don't know, but it really hasn't in the last couple of years, and some of those have been the same guys.
Yeah.
So what do you do? I mean, if you have a criticism of it, that might be the criticism of him and that's maybe why he feels compelled to blitz a little bit.
Yeah, I'm wondering why didn't he let Larry Johnson cook? I mean, Larry Johnson's been there longer than Jim Knowles.
I don't know.
I mean, Larry Johnson's had a lot of pros. Why didn't he let Larry Johnson cook? If I'm Larry Johnson, I'm saying, I got players. Let me do my thing, Jimmy. I mean, my
That's a hell of a question.
LJ. I got guys. Let me do my thing.
Yeah.
Let me do my thing.
Yeah.
If I'm Larry Johnson.
Yeah. It is curious that they haven't been a great 4-man pass rush team. Okay. They have played the run better, on the other side, but when you get into those pure passing downs, and they're trying to manufacture pass rush with 4. They're putting defensive ends in at defensive tackle to try and get more, but they're still not a great. They're not. They may be better. I don't know. I got to look at their numbers, but they're still not a great 4-man rush.
I mean,
with their 4 guys, with the 4 defensive linemen. Okay.
Did you ever get into Did you ever stand on the table in the meeting room if you were a coach? You felt adamant about something. I would if I'm
Oh, at
there.
one point, yeah, yeah. I mean, but the coordinator's always going to have the last call. But yeah, everybody does this. So I've had guys say, "Yeah, we got to do this more." And if the guy's always arguing, I tend to take it with a grain of salt. But if a guy doesn't say much and all says, "Coach, we got to do this," I think you need to listen to him
Well,
because
see, that was glaring to me because what they said. This is what they said beginning of the season. Not Ohio State, or maybe they were saying. Maybe Ohio State was saying this. Now, this didn't register with me, but this is what Pro Football Focus and all these that Ohio State had the best defensive line in the country.
I would argue that, but
I'm,
I think they're pretty good though. I think they're good defensive line.
see
But
now, I think Ohio State. Now, news flash, and this won't be popular in Michigan circles. Okay, right? I think Ohio State is the most talented roster in the country.
I would agree. I
Most
think
talented.
they're not. They're right there at the top. I mean, Sam, I told you this yesterday when I watched that game on all 22, and to a degree when I watched it live when it happened. Granted, Ohio State lost the game. I was very impressed with them. I thought this team is good enough to win the national championship. They're good enough. Okay. Now we all know it goes beyond talent. If we don't know anything, we know that, right? So they're going to have to learn to win those big games, which they've struggled doing, right? But in terms of player for player, now they don't have Marvin Harrison. I haven't seen a receiver like that. They've got some good ones. And this quarterback's a very seasoned player. And they have two really good running backs. Their line looks like it's improved offensively. Defensively, they have some seasoned players, particularly their front. Their two corners are very, very talented guys. They got Caleb Downs from Alabama, who I thought was a really good player last year for them. They're pretty equipped. They're pretty equipped. Now, I'm looking at their kicking, and the kicking does make a difference too, but they're pretty doggone equipped. So, but there are some things that have shown up, not so much against the Marshalls and the Kent States and such, but against the matchup opponents, the teams like Oregon, that they're going to have to get fixed. Otherwise, they're going to continue to lose big games because of explosive plays, and that's what's kind of killed them.
No doubt. No doubt. And so they couldn't get pressure with 4. And they got, like you said, they got a blitz. And boy, they got exposed. They got exposed at times. And here's the thing that was glaring, because I said this to Vance. We look at ourselves. I may have said this in our breakdown. We look at ourselves more than we look at other people, more than we look at other teams, and we think we're the only people, we're the only team experiencing these issues, looking unorganized, looking out of position, against tempo and against formation to the boundary. That was Ohio State in this game. Against tempo, against formation to the boundary. Guys.
There were issues. Yeah, there were issues. We're going to talk about it here in a minute.
Yeah.
There were issues. And I remember this too, Sam. You are what you are against matchup opponents. You understand? So you can be lulled into a false sense of security, be playing lesser opponents, racking up massive yardage, bragging about your statistics. I'm not saying Ohio State's doing this. I'm just saying a lot of teams do this, is they'll amass huge numbers against teams that are also rans, and all of a sudden you get against somebody real, or you get against 2 or 3 guys real on your schedule. That's what you are. That's what you are. That's how good you are, because now the people you're blocking are as good as you are. The people that you're covering are as good as you are. You understand? So now if you have efficiencies, they can show up or continue to show up, or you have deficiencies, that will show up, and they may have never showed up before that.
All right. So let's go ahead and get into it. This film study focused on the Ohio State defense, and this film study available exclusively here on the Autograph app. We hope that you are enjoying this and all the film studies available exclusively here on Autograph. And the great thing about this partnership on Autograph, we hope you are enjoying this, is that when you watch these film studies on Autograph and all of the other great offerings, the blogs that you read here on Autograph, the podcasts that you listen to here on Autograph, and the other videos that you watch here on Autograph, is you accrue points. And as you accrue these points over time, later, you can redeem these points for rewards.
Yeah, but Sam, what's it going to cost me?
Well, again, the autograph app is free. Are
Oh,
you
free,
using this
free.
app? No, you
Good
got it
cost.
free,
That's good. That's good price.
right? And then you redeem these points from reading these blogs and watching these videos, listening to these podcasts. You redeem these points for rewards like tickets to events and the like. It's a great concept that Tom Brady and his crew came up with. So enjoy. Let's get into this film breakdown, this film study of the Ohio State defense. And we'll start off first with a show play, Coach Borges, and a lot of attention. The majority of our attention, Coach Borges, was on the Oregon game. Surprise.
Yeah, because they were the best matchup opponent that we saw. They were the one to watch. We got other ones. We have Iowa and we have Michigan State and such. But this team was the best matchup opponent, and it shows who each team is.
Certainly. So we'll start off first with the show play. Coach Borges with the Buckeyes taking on Oregon. Another team Michigan is going to see, by the way. So it serves a dual purpose watching the Oregon game, right?
Well, absolutely.
And
we can knock off two birds with one stone here, Sam.
Yeah, and this was a play where they went after him.
Yeah, interesting football play. They're in quarters, all right? They're pressing the X, and they're singled up on Denzel Burke, who they consider their best corner. Okay, I think they do anyway. All the publications say. So I'm assuming he is. Now, this is what I guess happened in the Oregon meeting. Okay, as a coordinator, I'm guessing that's right. Burke likes to jump cuts. As soon as he sees that or feels that the receiver could be coming to a stop or breaking in, he's going to sit on it. We have to have at least one, maybe several routes working him for doing that. So we're going to run down. We're going to pretend like we're going to hook up about 10 to 12 yards. We're going to really sell it, get him to freeze his feet, and then we're going to blow by him with a receiver that's got good burst. Now, to make sure we get that off, we're going to max protect. We're going to hold 7 dudes in and send 3 guys out. And I'm betting Sam, he decided he was throwing this ball to him Tuesday. Okay? He said, Tuesday, when we first presented you the plan, this is what we're doing. I want you to work on Burke. If it's incomplete, it's incomplete. We're going to hold everybody in to protect you. We're going to turn the protection, make sure everybody's secured, hold the tight end in, have the back check his way out, send 3 guys deep, but I want you to think Burke. Because if nothing else, we're going to, at this point in the game, 13:28 of the game, we're going to make sure he knows that he can't sit on every cut. If it hits, it hits. If it doesn't, at least we've made a statement. Well, it hit, and it hit big. Now he's got to be a little more careful about freezing his feet every time he thinks the receiver's going to make a cut.
Is 4-2 cover 4?
4-2 cover 4. I think they're pressing the X. Yep, 4-2 cover 4. So you would think, Sam, because they are pressing X and it's a deep ball, the ball could be going to the other receiver. But no, they don't do that. They don't do that because they know they don't want press coverage on a double move. They want the guy off. See that? Just that temporary freezing of his feet allowed him to burst by him, and he made a perfect throw. Now watch the protection. Watch the protection. Don't what? See, everybody's in. Everybody's in. He could stand there all day to make that throw. They were going to make sure that ball got off and make sure they got that double move run. If it hit, it hit. If it didn't, we made a statement that you can't jump all our intermediate cuts.
That's they got to be their fastest guy. They said that's where we're going.
Well, he had a hell of a burst off that move.
So he's going to be singled up. You push vertical with your slot, you're going to get one-on-one on the outside.
Yep. And you can see even here, Sam. All right, we've seen that. Now go back. I want you to watch the bottom of the screen where they're in bump and run. They're in bump and run, and the free safety turns toward.
Okay. You want to see
it? Okay. Well, here we go. You see it here. The free safety turns to the field and leaves him singled up X in press coverage on a deep ball. But he still goes to the other way. Why did he do that, Sam? Because he knew That's where the double move was. And that's where they wanted to make sure that they got that thing run. So now they can run other cuts, not worrying about him jumping every cut. And if he does, at least he'll pay for it.
Man, what do you think of Denzel Burke?
I think he's athletic. He's made a lot of plays. He's intercepted a couple balls, but he is a guy that doesn't mind gambling. He will sit on cuts. And you'll see the second time they're in a zero blitz, so he's thinking the ball's coming out fast, but the guy runs right by him. He doesn't even double move. We'll show you that in a minute. I don't know how good a straight line he has. I know he can flip his hips pretty good, but this doesn't look good to me.
Yeah, they
this
feel
guy
like
runs by him almost with ease.
you said they decided on Tuesday that they were throwing this.
I'm guessing that. I don't know that, but I'm just telling you, they watched the video. They saw the way he plays. They knew where he was going to be on this play, and they designed a double move with max protection. I don't think he was thinking of throwing the ball to anybody else, regardless of circumstances. Could be wrong.
I think you're right.
I've done it. I know I've done it. I've done it. So we're going after number 7. It may hit it, may not hit it, but we're throwing it to him. Ain't no reads on this play.
I think you're 100% right. I think they knew something about this dude's speed. Not just that he sits on double moves. That he squats on. He squats on routes. He sits on routes, but that he's a 4.6 guy.
Yeah, that's possible too.
Yeah,
and I don't think the guy running the route was 4.6.
I don't think he was 4.6 either, Al. I don't think he's 4.6 either at all. All right, on to the next play, Coach Borges. On to the next one, as we like to say. And they are not done.
Interesting, Sam. Very interesting. Go back a little bit, but go back to the title for a second before we go on. Forverts tempo, which means they're on the ball. They're going to snap it. Now, tempo versus cover 3. It never really even looks like cover 3. Why doesn't it look like cover 3? Because the safety never gets to the middle. But everybody else looks like they're playing cover 3. The bottom corner bails, the backside corner, the topside corner bails. Everybody sits in the short curl and hook areas. Let's watch. This is run quickly. You can see why. Number 1, does not get too deep third. That's the free safety, okay? He doesn't get to deep third. Mm-hmm. Next guy, he's fixing his helmet still, okay? Adjusting his face mask, does not carry the vertical. Now, one of two things has to happen here. He's either got to carry that vertical so they can't throw it, or that corner's got to overlap that vertical, which means he's got to play between the vertical and the corner and the receiver to be able to play two guys. One of the two, because if you don't do one of those two, that vertical is going to be wide open and neither one happened. Okay, they kind of switch their verticals. The point men run the hashes, the outside guys run the bottom of the numbers, and all he does is he sees nobody in center field. And both verticals are uncovered, okay? But the most uncovered is the top guy, the point man on the top. But again, nobody's really ready yet. Everybody's still kind of fidgety. Their cleats are not in the ground because the ball was snapped quickly after the next play. It's, what's it down in distance? 2nd and 7. Gain 3 yards on the first down, ran to the line of scrimmage. And what they could have done, Sam, I don't know if this happened, but they could have made a speedy call and said, okay, guys, I'm going to run the first play. I don't remember what the call was. I'm going to run the first call, speedy. Speedy means as soon as the first play is done, get to the line of scrimmage, run 4 vertical, and snap the ball as soon as everybody's set. Everybody knows what speedy means. We're going to stack the receivers. We're going to be in a 6-man protection. I'm throwing 4 verticals before they get their cleats in the ground. That's possible. Any way you cut it, whether that was the case or not, this is a tempo play. Nobody carries the inside vertical. Nobody really carries
vertical
on the bottom.
Looked like Michigan in a couple of these games, didn't it?
Yeah, that's it. I tell you, sometimes tempo, they struggle a little bit with tempo in this game. See, down sits. I believe they're in cover 3. He just never got to deep third. He's trying to, but he's late to the party. That's the free safety hitting him right there.
Yep. So, you know, and this is a better team. I mean, Oregon, one of the best teams in the country, obviously. So, let this be a lesson to Michigan. Obviously, this film.
One more time, Sam. One more time. Watch the outside receiver on the top. Oh, you see it from this angle. Watch the outside receiver on top. He's screaming for the ball. Nobody's carrying the vertical. Nobody's overlapping the two receivers. You got a completion to somebody.
Yeah, man.
And again, I think a huge part of it was how fast the play was run. I don't think they were set. I don't know if they got the coverage check right. I don't think you can disguise much when they're going tempo. Can you, Sam? Can you really disguise a lot? You got to kind of get up there and get. Yeah, I mean, there's some advantages to it, you know.
Yep. All right, so Al, on to the next play. And listen, what we noticed as we got deeper into the film study is, as we pull up this next play, you see that running the football.
Oh yeah, got to look at a couple runs because there were some runs, and so a couple little different schemes. I want to talk about this one because this is an interesting one. This is as we do it. Anyway, open side gas play, which means it's on the split end side, and gas means center around guard. Okay, center around guard. Okay, and we'll show that when we tell it straight. And again, open side, which means it's to the weak side of the formation. Okay, they got three receivers to the right, one receiver to the left, and the zone play or the wrap play, center wrap play is going to the left. Okay. All right, the tackle steps out to engage that wide five technique. He's going to try and stretch him out, kind of make him think he might be hooking him, but stretch him out to widen that hole, okay? Then the left guard's going to block down on what appears to be a 2-eye. He's going to seal him hard, okay? And that center's going to come wrapping around to block that linebacker. Now, those are the same targets as a basic open zone. You can run it, and they ran that too in this game, where you just double team that nose guard up to him. But on this one, they wanted to stop the defense with a down block and then wrap the center, who looks like he's pretty athletic. So this is a good scheme. This is also a very good scheme if they're trying to grab your lineman when you come off to double team and keep them from double teaming to your linebackers. This is a good way to combat that. Okay,
that's not a wait. Grab your lineman. That sounds like a penalty, coach.
Well, that is a penalty, Sam. But unfortunately, a lot of guys do that. A lot of guys coach that, but you got to have, you can complain about the penalty or you can have an answer. Okay. One answer is to gas block him. Okay. All right. That's a gas scheme, or what I call a gas scheme, whatever you call it, whatever you want. But then what you got on the backside is you got a gut. Gut is guard and tackle zoning to the backside linebacker. Now, Sam, what would you do if that 3 technique was grabbing you and not allowing you to get to that backside linebacker, which some guys will do, those dirty.
Wait, if they were grabbing you and not allowing
you. Yeah, just like I told you, the nose guard might grab those two when they double team. What would you think an answer to that is? Now, I haven't prepped you for this, so if you don't know it, I'm not going to shoot you dead. But
you're grabbing me and not allowing me to get to the backside line.
Yeah, what would a scheme be to counter that?
Grabbing me and not allowing me to get to the backside linebacker. I don't know, Al.
Well, just have the guard block the 3 technique and wrap the tackle around the guard to get the backer. Now they can't grab you. You understand what I'm saying? It's another way to combat people that won't let you get on those linebackers by holding them up. They didn't need to do that here. They didn't do that here, but that's another way. That's just, similar to the gas scheme. They go with a pure gut because they felt that was the best way to handle it. And maybe the 3 technique for Ohio State doesn't grab guys. So that's just it's just a tantamount to what the guard and the center are doing relative to what the tackle and the guard are doing. So, all right. So they double team off to the backside linebacker, and there's your read defender. That's the guy he's going to watch because he can pull this. If that guy really closed down hard, he could pull that ball, It is a zone read. So, okay. So now you got a little bubble going. You can't really go. We went to the tight angle, so you can't really see the bubble. But he's going to bubble out of there. And by bubbling out of there, that linebacker's going to kind of move with him a little bit. He didn't move with him much, but just enough to help that gut block get to him. You know what I mean? Just enough. And if he really jumped into the box, he might throw that bubble out there. You know what I mean? But he doesn't really do that much, but it helps the gut block get to the linebacker. So this is like they call it spread offense, Sam. See how everybody's getting spread? That's how it gets its name, okay? Now, the split end or weak side receiver, he goes down and cracks the free safety. And the corner goes with him a little bit. He doesn't go all the way, but he goes with him enough to soften the flank. And that's where the ball ends up getting run is he gets bounced out to the flank. And then the backer takes the ball, hits that B gap, and away we go. So, engage the 5, wrap the center, gut block the 3, hit the B gap, crack the safety, run for the corner, and you got a nice game. And there it is.
Up for a first down.
Yep. They used this play more than once in this game. They used this play a couple times. And then one time or two times, they just ran the regular open zone play where they double team the nose.
Yeah, I haven't seen Michigan. I haven't seen this scheme for Michigan.
No, I haven't either, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's somewhere in their back pocket. They may not have felt they needed it, but this may be a game where Oregon felt they needed it. You know, it's just equipment for your offense. You know, who knows? They may never use it in another game. I don't know. But I haven't studied Oregon's offense, so I don't really know. But you can find out. Just watch 3 games. If you see it again, and then it's not a trend; it's a habit.
You know, just for Michigan, which seemingly, for run schemes anyway, it seems like Michigan does everything.
Yeah, they do. They do.
And so this was illustrative. All righty. Let's go ahead and bring the next one up after folks see the sign one more time. We will bring up another one. Another defensive play. Yeah, Oregon they had some stuff. They had some stuff for the Buckeyes. All right, next play, Al Borges.
Oh, Sam, this one's interesting. This one's interesting. This is an interesting play. This is a drive switch. I call it drive route, meaning they're running a dig drag or dig shallow on the top of the screen, okay? And the point man is running a go route, a takeoff. He's the guy they throw it to. And guess who's covering him? The same guy that was covering him before. On the bottom of the screen, you got a switch route, which means one guy's running the post and the slot's running a little wheel route in behind it, okay? Well, I think, and I could be wrong, again, I think this defense was an empty check. Empty check. What do I mean by that? I mean, they saw empty formation and checked to this defense, thinking that they could get pressure with the illusion of a 6-man pressure. Okay? Well, at the end of the day, as you're going to see here in a second, it is not a 6-man pressure, but you know what it is? It's zero coverage. And at the end of the day, that's what really hurt them, okay? Let's watch.
It's not a 6-man pressure, but it's zero coverage.
No, but there's 6 dudes that you swear you got to block because they're all up there, right? Just go back one more, Sam. Just go back. Let me show you. Let's watch the first 3. The 3 linebackers blitz, right? There they go. And when they blitz, everybody else, the linemen, including the nose guard, they drop. Now, what are they doing? What they're doing is they're giving you the illusion of a zero blitz in empty formation so that the quarterback thinks he has to throw a hot route. Mm-hmm. You understand? And what they're looking for is one of those dudes coming inside looking to catch a slant against a hot receiver. Okay?
Making him think he has to get rid of it right now.
Exactly. Now, I was watching 2 weeks ago, Auburn was playing against Oklahoma and did something very similar. Oklahoma, against an empty formation, checked to what appeared to be a maximum blitz with zero coverage across the back end. Everybody, the quarterback was swearing it looked like a blitz, right? Mm-hmm. And they bailed the quarterback through a hot right to a dropping linebacker who took the ball and ran it back for a touchdown to win the game. Maybe they watched that video, huh? I don't know. But I'm guessing this is designed for empty formation and to get them to throw a hot. Okay, so everybody else is locked up man to man. Now on the top of the let's show that. Let's show the dot offs, and then I'll explain the rest of it. Those two are dotted off to cover those two, and those three basically got those three, and they're shaking it out a little bit to see where those receivers show up. Okay.
Yeah. So
but at the end of the day, the point man, which is the guy that's up on the line of scrimmage on the top of the screen, he's running the go route on Denzel Ward. Now, I think the secondary, including Ward, thinks the ball's coming out fast. Why? Because they're trying to create the illusion of a blitz, right? He can't hold the ball, particularly in empty formation, because they only got 5 guys to protect, right? So he's kind of sitting there going, he's going to throw a ball quick because nobody's really dropping, Sam. But what happens is this. The line bails. We used to call it anytime they're showing blitz and empty, bail it, wail and bail. Back up and see who declares to rush, because somebody's trying to bait you to get you to block them so they can pull somebody else through. Okay, but the Oregon does a great job of bailing and identifying the blitzers, picking them up, giving the quarterback time to throw the ball deep, which they want to believe in empty formation you can't do, because they were creating the illusion of a blitz that's not going to allow you to do that with only 5 guys protecting. Here's the routes. Switch route on the bottom, like I said, drive route on the top, and the point man is running a go route. The quarterback knows it's zero coverage. I'm guessing he knows that's a good matchup, okay? I'm guessing he knows that's a good matchup. So watch, first of all, when we show it, let's just watch how the back end covers the go route. See them all just sitting there, and he blows right by him.
Yeah, he actually, I guess I didn't realize he got hands on him too. Still couldn't.
Well, he doesn't want to run by him. He knows he's vulnerable deep, but he just doesn't think that ball is going to be held that long. Okay, one more time, watch that. And then we need to watch the protection next. But watch, there's the blitzers.
Man.
There's the fake blitzers. They're dropping. But they try to move forward to engage those guys. Notice they don't just drop. They start forward to get those linemen to take them. But Oregon bails so well, they force themselves to declare themselves as droppers. And the guys that are bailing pick up the blitzers.
He got hands on them and still couldn't impede him enough to keep up with him.
But he never pedals, Sam. He never backpedals because he thinks that ball's coming out fast. That's what I'm guessing. He's thinking that ball's coming out. He doesn't have to backpedal. I'll sit on that guy. Okay?
Cooked.
Oregon is very well coached up front. I don't know who coaches their line, but he does a good job. Now, forget about that. We've seen that. Watch up front. Okay? Watch the body language of the offensive line. Okay? And see how they retreat, they vertical set, and as soon as Ohio State declares who the real rushers are, not the fake rushers, the real rushers, they pick them off. Watch the O-line against the 3 blitzers. You had all day to throw that.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful. That was beautiful, Al Borges. That was a clinic.
Now, something that Oklahoma did is they rushed their guys from the outside, okay, where Ohio State rushed their guys from the inside. It is harder on the offensive line to bail and pick up blitzers from the outside than it is the inside, in my opinion. And that's why I thought it worked better.
That was beautiful. Man. Whew. Whew. Good grief. All right. How do they handle multiple crossers, Al Borges? We're going on to
here's I jumped to Iowa. Now they got a little double crossing route here, and I believe it's cover 2. I think it's cover 2, which they will play on occasion. This is 3rd and 6. What happens on this play? We didn't diagram this one, but we're just gonna want to make a note on this because this could come up, and this is something that Michigan does. This is right in their wheelhouse. They're crossing from a tight split. You can see the two guys crossing, but I think it's number 6, if I'm not mistaken. Styles. He takes a piece of the first crosser and leaves the edge outflanked. Okay, so McNamara just takes the ball, looks inside, sees that doesn't look good, but as soon as that guy takes a bite out of that first crosser or that guy running to the middle, he leaves that little open spot in cover 2. That corner had to run with the wide guy, and there's a nice throwing lane right there and a good run after catch. A little simple play, but right in Michigan's wheelhouse. They do this stuff.
Yeah, that's okay. Loves throwing underneath us throwing that crosser against zone.
Yeah. Love no, that's this again. Had this guy not responded like this, he would have been forced to throw the ball back inside. But because he did respond that way, he gave him the shallow.
All right. Let's stick.
We want to show that because that is kind of a Michigan play, and I think that could be something that
all right
might be a factor. And this next play, again, we didn't tell us straight, but it is also a Michigan play. This is Y option, okay? This is Y option. Tight end runs down the field.
Oops, sorry.
5-7 yards maybe, okay? And then he can hook in, he can hook out, right? He can break out, depending on how they're playing. But on this play, Ohio State does a little twist, but they overdrop the option route, so he just hooks up, and it's just a little pitch and catch. You said I think you mentioned the ball got tipped. He said doggone open, it don't matter.
Yeah, that's right.
But again, this is a Colston Loveland play that would fit very nicely into the game plan. They ran it on 2nd and 11. You can run it on 3rd and 5. You're on 1st and 10. Go on. But that's just something to consider in the plan. They motion the back out just to get them all spread out. You can see the middle of the field is wide open. It was a 2 squat coverage.
Okay.
So that's another one I think
all right.
that might be a good little game plan thought.
Yep. All right. So now we move on to Michigan State.
Okay, here's another one. Let's keep talking Michigan wheelhouse, okay? And we'll show it here in a second. If nothing's in the Michigan wheelhouse, the dual play definitely is. This is the first play of the game. This is a dual play to the right. Again, it's untelestrated. I don't see any reason to telestrate another dual. God, we've done that enough. But you can see the movement they get up front. This thing opens up like the Red Sea. Everybody's stepping with that left foot. They put a guy off. Boy, we've done this. This is so familiar. Boom. They just pick them off. Mike stays inside, so the back slides outside. Gets a nice big chunk of yardage the first play of the game. Michigan State did some good things against them early in the game. They got out of hand a little later, but they did some good things.
Man, they moved the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, they really did. And look at that. Look at that hole. Yeah.
Good grief. They obviously weren't able to keep that up.
No. And they were struggling stopping Ohio State too. That's extremely well blocked. And like I said, go back here, Sam. And I mentioned this in our breakdown, and I want to mention it now. Freeze that for just a second. This team is, for the most part, a 4-2 cover 4 team, right? Okay. But if you put multiple tight ends in, they take out number 7, Hancock, and they put in number 20, who is number 20 is Arbel Reese. He plays inside linebacker, and 7 comes out when you put a bunch of tight ends. So this is a look right here that you're likely to get against Michigan because they're so multiple tight end oriented. They will match personnel every play. You put in an extra wide receiver, they're going to put in number 7. You put in an extra tight end, they're probably going to put in number 20 or number 11, one of those guys, to deal with that. And there you go. See, there's the 3 guys. Sonny Styles, is it right?
Yep.
Reese and Cody. No, Cody name.
What is it, Simon?
Cody Simon, exactly. When they play three linebackers, that's usually the three they play with.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir, Al Borges. Love seeing a duo play work.
See, now that's three plays right there, Sam, that go onto your reel that are, like I say, they're Michigan culture plays. Y option, multiple crosses, duo play. All showing up on against different teams at different times. And that could be part of your plan. That all look pretty doggone good. This isn't against the Scribinis here. That's the first play of the game. Okay. So
Yeah.
something to consider.
Yeah, you got to take advantage of you can move them around. They're quick up front, but I don't think that they're physical up front. And they won't
that. Yeah, that question will be answered against Michigan because they will test how physical they are because they've done it the last 3 years.
Yeah. All right, Al. So can they block the run well enough and then get to the point where they're consistent enough in pass pro? Enough. They won't, they won't go from being where they were to being great. But can they get to competency to where they can get a play action game going?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. No, it's a great question. And I think your ability to run the ball is going to help your ability to play pass. That's kind of goes without saying. But also understand that the play we're going to show you now is basically an 8-man protection. Okay. So you're holding some people in to help. I mean, if you can't block 4 guys with 8, you better take your ball and go home. Okay? Right. But I say that I've seen that happen to teams, But I mean, that's the best we can do, right? Okay, there we got them now. They're in 4-2 cover 4. Sam, we're in a wing formation with a slot to the field, right? They're in that 4-3 again. Okay, again, they're multiple tight ends. So number 7 is probably not in the game. Number 20 probably is. Okay. The play is a play action dagger. We remember what a dagger is, Sam. Slot runs through the post, and he's the alert. He's the first guy you look at. If they bite the fake or he, for some reason, runs by somebody, you let it rip. There he goes.
JJ would throw that alert.
If they gave it to him, he would. He would. Don't waste a throw if you didn't. But if they don't, but on this one, we're going to show you what happens on it. He runs the post, and on this one, let's see what we got. There we go. They double team it. They basically bracket it. Mm-hmm. And the reason they bracket it is because the backside tight ends, the wing and the tight end, they block. So the backside safety sees no threat. So he says, "What the hell? I'm gonna get active on the other side." Okay. As soon as he sees that, they double it. No big deal. We're not really looking to throw him the ball anyway. We just got to make sure he blows the top off so he takes 2 people with him. Okay. The guy we're really looking to throw the ball to is the outside receiver on the break-in, the dig route. Okay. He's going to run there and there about 16 to 18 yards and break inside in behind those linebackers. Okay. That is where we'd like to go to take a nice big chunk of yards. And I think Tuttle can throw these, Sam. I think this is good for him. I think he can throw these. He threw a dig on 3rd down last week. He looked seamless to him. Yeah. So these types of plays for him, I think, are good. Okay. Now.
Fender drop. So let me play that again. There you go.
He
dropped.
He didn't. In the corner just kind of blows out of there. He gets a lot of depth. He's covering the deep quarter of the field, and he is not sitting on any break. He's retreating, okay, which is good. Now all we got to do, since we got the 2 safeties out of there and the corner soft enough, we just got to beat what we call the buzz, the underneath guys, the dudes that are responsible for those curl to flat to whatever, those underneath defenders that have that job, okay? But what we're going to do to make life as difficult for them as we possibly can, so we're going to fake a zone play or a stretch play or whatever to the left, and you can see when we do, that moves Styles, okay? He moves. And then once he sees that the ball is not exchanged, then he starts to turn to run. But by that time, he's a little disoriented and he doesn't drop into the lane the ball's being thrown in. Okay. So he's kind of being finessed a little bit. We're going to make him believe that this is a running play. We're going to come off that, and that's where it goes, right where he's not. I'm guessing that that's probably his responsibility, but him and number 20 both bite the run enough to where their drops get distorted and they don't get good distribution, and the dig goes right by him. You can see right there. Very nicely done. Oh, here's a good look.
Yep.
See? Boom. Nicely timed, nicely thrown. Good play.
Yes, it was. Give folks another look at that. The Michigan State did some nice things in this game.
They did. Yeah, this young quarterback I think is going to be a good player eventually. His game is not complete yet, but he does have some talent. Yeah, and again, this another one, Sam, is we've thrown daggers, right? we've telestrated dagger. We telestrated more than one dagger. Okay, there's actually another dagger that was run in the Oregon game that I didn't telestrate that they hit. So it is shown to be a bit of a vulnerability, you know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Again, when I looked at this, I tried to take plays that were not out of the culture of the Michigan offense, particularly when the Michigan offense is balanced, which they're hoping they're going to get with Jack Tuttle. But, I mean, I could put all kinds of plays up there, but if it's not really in their wheelhouse, you're probably never going to see them. But you could easily see a dagger. You could easily see a Y option. You're definitely going to see a dual play. So, you know, these are all ways to see how they play these things in certain coverages.
Right. You are, Coach Borges. A couple more plays to get to. One more from the Michigan State game. This one you call a rattle.
The Rattler. We had a name for this. I've been running this play for years. I got this play way back. I don't even remember where I was.
Have we seen Michigan run a rattle?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Harbaugh's got it. Harbaugh's had it. I don't know how many big ones they've hit on it. I know at Stanford he hit it a couple times, but I don't know how many times he's hit it at Michigan that we've broken down, because I promise you if they had a touchdown on this, it'd have made the telestrations. But it's in their offense somewhere. You can bet on it, okay? All right. Rattle versus nickel dog cover one, which means the nickel guy, or whoever that be, it may not be the nickel. That might be, I don't know. That might be number 6, but I'm not sure. They're bringing a guy off the edge, okay, and pressuring with 5, okay. Playing cover one, man-to-man, free safety, no wrap player, and now let's talk about the rattle. Starting point, man-to-man coverage. You can see it. Everybody's locked up. Free safety's playing the post area. You got to cover them all over the field. And there goes the nickel. And when the nickel comes, that usually means the right end is going inside, which he's doing there. Okay. Okay. Outside receiver runs a square out. 10 yards, breaks out, pull the corner. Right? Number 2, the inside receiver runs a stick return where he breaks out to try and get the guy to jump the outside break on the stick and then puts his foot in the ground, pivots back underneath. So if that rattle for some reason doesn't look good, which is going to happen on the top of the screen, he can go right back to the stick return as a check down. Okay. Outside receiver on the top runs an out. Now he may be trying to run a corner. I'm not sure, but kind of bumps the guy. And you can't really tell because when we ran the rattle, we ran a corner out. But this looks more like an out at the end of the day.
Okay.
And then the tight end, he kind of goes around him. And they almost go shoulder to shoulder and breaks to the post. Okay, now freeze that a second, Sam. Let's talk about this just a beat. Okay, what does that do? If it's a one-high man-to-man coverage, the corner can easily get picked off. Understand? He can get picked off trying to run through traffic, which opens up the post, which you're going to see that's what happens here. If it's a split safety defense, say both guys are playing like cover 4, cover 2, a lot of times when you break out, that safety will go with him for a beat and the post wins. You understand? Mm-hmm. So it's not bad against a variety of pass coverages, but in this instance, it's cover 1, and you could see it looks beautiful. Now, they end up fumbling this play. I mean, oh, God, it's can go wrong, would go wrong. But, but it doesn't turn out good. But you can see the result of the initial result is definitely positive and good design, well executed, right up to the point he fumbled it. And that's where the ball goes. Back blocks the backside. He picks up that nickel. See, that corner had to run, kind of paused, left that wide open. Secure that ball. Doggone it.
Did everything but hold on to the football.
Yeah, that's the thing that counts the most. So I'd rather have an incomplete pass, But the design was really, really good. See, again, dangle that ball. You got to put it high tight now. I can't do that. Oh, yeah. Take care of that thing. That's my contract there, Sam.
Yeah.
You would care of my contract like that? I don't know.
Everything but hold on to the football.
Yeah, you can't carry my contract like that.
You're like, you're lucky I just got hired, son. I'm in my first year. They aren't going to fire
me. They might forgive me this time, but geez, dude, let's get out of that habit as fast as you can, man. I got the moving vans pulling up to my garage. I don't need that.
They aren't going to fire me in my first year, son. But
no.
Can't keep doing that. Good play, though.
Good play. Good design. Good design. And like I said, it's good against other coverages, too. It's not restricted to man-free. It's good against a lot of coverages. And if for some reason they don't take the bait, that little stick return can win. As a little check down over the ball. That's a good little answer to it.
All right, you got one more play, Al, that you grabbed from the Marshall game. This is how thorough.
Yeah, and again, I like Alex Orji. I do. I still think there's places where you can use. They did it last year. It was successful. This would be a great Alex Orji play. And put him in there, have him throw a pass.
What, Al? Why are you still talking about Alex Orji? Why are you still talking?
Because last year, Sam, they won the national championship, and they were talking about Alex Orji. Alex Orji got ability, and we can't have guys with ability sitting on the bench every play. I mean, we can stick him in there. There's no rule against that. We just because it didn't work out. Well, we still got him, and we still can maybe use him. And this would be a good play to use him on. Put him in there, maybe have him throw one pass, take him out, bring him back in, and run this play. Motion him back out. 5-man pressure. Boom, pick it up. Pick your hole. And away we go. Nothing wrong with that play, Sam. Nothing. And they ran this play twice, and both of them hit. I didn't put the other one on here because of time. I didn't want to have 100 plays, but they had another quarterback draw that hit on him. So nothing wrong with that.
You don't think they're going to have to throw a pass with them to make
teams? They might. Sometimes quarterback draw is hard to stop even if you don't throw a pass. But I'd go and let him throw a little stick route or something one play, and then next play do this. Might be worth it. Stick route might be incomplete, right? But this play makes it worth it, That play gained 11 yards? Stick route gained none. That's an average of what? 5.5?
Hey, you can run a quarterback draw with Jack Tuttle, too, by the way.
Sure. Well, you could. Yeah, sure you could. But you could have run a quarterback draw with J.J. McCarthy. Yeah, you could have run a lot of things that Alex ran with J.J. McCarthy that they decided to use Alex on. So
right. And the flip side of it is you do want to manage Jack Tuttle usage.
Exactly.
On run play.
Exactly. You don't want him taking any hits. And it's not, it's not to keep Alex Orji happy. I'm much more interested in winning, but he is a talent. Mm-hmm. And if we got a chance to use him somewhere, what the hell? He did it last year with some success. No reason why you can't do it this year some. So.
Yeah, Al. I talked about this with Vance. I mean, there was a time where Michigan would go into this Ohio State game where with Michigan fans who had given up hope. We are a long way from where those teams are. This team has 2 losses and hope that this team will figure some things out before you get to the Ohio State game. I'm talking about in 95 and 96, Michigan having 4 losses heading
4
into
losses, Sam. 4.
and figuring out a way to win that game.
That's right. Different
Yeah.
game, Sam. Different game. Different game. Everything, all bets are off. You know you're going to get their best effort, and they're going to do things in that game that maybe they weren't able to do during the course of the season. So,
Well, I think so. I mean, your last game at Michigan, no one gave you a chance to even be in that game, Al, and you're a broken foot away. Broken foot away. I mean, if Devin Gardner doesn't break his foot in that game,
nobody gave us a chance in that game. We didn't win the game, but we were that far away. But
his are different if Devin doesn't break his foot.
Yeah, I mean, it's just amazing, And that time we had a bad patch. Oh, we had like 3 games. We were beat up. We were playing with a damn. I mean, and nobody gave us a snowball's chance in hell again, putting 20 points on the board. Never mind 40 something odd. But in that game, everybody plays up. You know what I mean? They play up, and all of a sudden, what you haven't been able to do for a couple of weeks, everybody's going, "Well, where'd this come from?" And a lot of it's just the mindset going into the game.
Mm-hmm. So, fans, come on now. Come on. Of course, there's football to play. They got Illinois. You got Michigan State, who we saw do some things. Michigan State's going to play their best football against Michigan, of course, right? Oregon. You got a whole lot to prepare for with Oregon coming to town, right? So there's a lot of football to play before you ever get to Ohio State. But don't give up the game on that game before it's played. We're going to come back around before we decide. We haven't decided not to do Buckeye Breakdown Part 2. I'm just saying we haven't decided to do it.
I got a lot more, Sam. I got a lot more now. If people are willing and they want to hear it, I got a lot more.
We put it on the shelf for now, and we'll decide. We'll take your temperature in a few weeks. We'll see where you guys are in a few weeks. And if you have come around, if you found some intestinal fortitude by then, a little more confidence, we'll see. We'll come back around with another fundraiser to see if you're back ready.
Sam, we'll win a couple games, and the fan base will turn into a rolling ball of butcher knives. It'll all change.
It is bet. So, for now, we hope you enjoyed this Buckeye Breakdown. Next week, we'll return to your regularly scheduled programming.
Yes, we will.
The next edition of the Michigan Football Film Study focused on the Michigan offense with Al Borges. We'll see you then.
Go Blue.